Wasahlan. My name is George Mekhail. Good to see you all. It's great to be with you. I am the managing director at Bitcoin Magazine, and I'm very excited to be here in Abu Dhabi. It's already been an amazing time just in the last few days that we've been here. I got to take my son to F1 last night. Was anyone there? Did anyone get to watch the race? Yes, Kingston was there. It was an incredible experience. We got to see Lando Norris take home the Constructors' Cup. So really looking forward to sharing with you today. I think this is working. All right, cool. There we go. All right, so quick background about me. I have been in Bitcoin since 2017. I've written a couple books, Thank God for Bitcoin, which I co-authored with a bunch of other Bitcoiners, The Creation, Corruption, and Redemption of Money. And recently just released a new book called I Am Not Your Bruh, or in Arabic, Ana Mish Sahbak, which is basically a parenting book that explores the concept of sound parenting. I was born in Cairo, Egypt, so immigrated when I was 4 years old. And I wish I could give this presentation in Arabic to this audience in particular, but unfortunately I'm not very fluent, so I'll only sprinkle in a little bit here and there just for fun. Basically, the main thing I want to explore in this talk is sharing Bitcoin's story. So as a media person, I love telling stories. So my story and my heritage, my culture, I don't remember very much of it because I was only 4 years old when we left. But I do remember my name, right? My full name, actually, is George Samir Naguib Mikhail Saad Nasser Masoud. So I didn't even need my notes for that. I memorized that because I know it. But what's in a name is what's interesting. And don't worry, I'm going to connect this back to Bitcoin here in a second. As many of you know, and cultures all over the world do names in this way. Basically, every one of those names is one of my grandfathers, right? So obviously, I'm George. Samir is my father, Naguib is my grandfather, and so on, all the way through the 7 generations that I listed. And thankfully, I've got to continue this tradition with my own son, whose middle name is George, and inshallah, someday he will pass that on to his kids as well. So what does this even have to do with Bitcoin? Again, each name tells a story, and it represents a specific time in history. And I often wonder, what was my great-great Giddo up to? Saad, what was he doing? Even though I know very little about his life, his memory lives on. And I think it's fascinating that humans have really done this throughout the ages. They've recorded our history. We've demarcated time in various ways, from sundials to hieroglyphs. How we preserve history, how we commemorate major events, and how we basically tell our story to future generations is fascinating to think about through the lens of Bitcoin. I spend a lot of time thinking about Bitcoin, obviously probably too much time, like many of you. But as many people have observed, the Bitcoin blockchain, or time chain, helps us do this, right? And it's probably best represented in mempools, memspace.com. So, of course, the mempool viewer is very practically useful for exploring transactions, drilling down on fees, checking the current state of the market. But I also want to highlight today how every block tells a story. Bitcoin blocks, to me, are essentially like modern-day hieroglyphs. Each block has an incredible amount of information at a very specific time period. Some blocks are more significant than others, but what's cool is we can go back and we can look at these even today. So without the connection from block to block, Bitcoin wouldn't be Bitcoin, right? That's the whole idea, is that's how we know that we're dealing with the Bitcoin blockchain, because once one gets blocked, another gets mined on top of that. And if we didn't have that dynamic, we would have no history, no significance. Similarly, I created my own mempool.space. This is george.space. And if you look at this, each name from generation to generation confirms my ancestry, preserves my family line, and it can, makes me who I am. This talk, mempool.space didn't sponsor this talk or anything. I just really like their platform. I would highly recommend it. But basically, in this visualization of it, each block represents a generation. It's about 40 years of time, whereas the Bitcoin blockchain represents about 10 minutes of time. So there are so many different historic moments that have happened, and what's great is we can look back at this in a way that's incorruptible, right? I often lament the burning of the Library of Alexandria and how much history we lost in that tragic event. But now, moving forward, we can make every moment of history immutable and permanent on the Bitcoin blockchain. And I believe that's a beautiful gift that we get to give to our grandchildren, the ability to drill down on each one of these moments in a significant way. I wish I could do that with George.space and learn a little bit more about my grandfathers. Unfortunately, I can't. But with Bitcoin, we get to do that. So check this out. At the beginning, there was block 0, right? The Genesis block. And the time chain was void and empty. It wasn't until block 170 that the first non-mining transaction appeared, which was Satoshi sending Hal Finney 10 Bitcoin. Bitcoin history continued to roll along. The next notable moment, I would say, was happened at block height 57,043 when Laszlo Hanley famously paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. And every year since that event, Bitcoiners have celebrated Bitcoin pizza. Hello? Oh, my mic cut off for a sec there. To commemorate this historic transaction, the first Bitcoin payment in a real-world transaction. It's a critical milestone. And again, you can go on and you can drill down and you can even see the 10,000 Bitcoin that were sent in that wallet to this day. So around block height 110,000, we had the launching of the Silk Road, which is a moment that'll no doubt go down in history. One of my personal favorites was the first ever Bitcoin magazine issue, which was published in May 2012 around block height 178,000. Today, this is a collector's item. I saw one on eBay going for about $25,000 USD. We brought one with us here at the conference store. It's going for $2,100. And then we had, the first halving block at block height 210,000, which took the block reward from 50 Bitcoin to 25 Bitcoin, testing Satoshi's thesis on Bitcoin supply issuance schedule. We had the first major shakeup of confidence with the hack of Mt. Gox around 28,000, where 850,000 Bitcoin were stolen, leaving users at the time wondering, was this going to be sustainable? Is this project even going to have a future? The list really goes on and on. We've now seen 16 years of Bitcoin history of over 874,000 blocks. Recent milestones like Bitcoin ETFs launching in the US, countries and corporations adopting Bitcoin as Bitcoin treasury assets, the election of the first pro-Bitcoin US president, and of course just recently $100,000 Bitcoin price. Thank you. Yeah, let's go. Yes, we are here to celebrate. We are in a bull market. And our story is really just getting started, right? In human terms, Bitcoin is just a teenager, 16 years old. We haven't even completed half of a generation's worth of history. So very much just at the beginning. And we are experiencing history. We're writing history for future generations. I only have time to highlight a few of these events, but at Bitcoin Magazine, we are passionate about telling Bitcoin's story. We're the oldest publication in the industry. We've been here since 2012. Inshallah, we'll be here for another 100 years, 120 years when the last Bitcoin block is mined, marking a brand new era of Bitcoin. And today I want to invite you to join us in contributing your own account, telling your own story from your own perspective about what Bitcoin means to you. Part of our mission is to amplify the stories of the global Bitcoin community. And just like Bitcoin, again, we're just getting started. So as I wrap up today, I just want to highlight a few of the ways that you can engage with Bitcoin Magazine so that we can continue to tell the story and write history. Key events, the key people, and the stories that are happening in real time. The first way is to submit an op-ed. We would love to hear your opinion, right? Assuming that it's a interesting angle, something fresh, something compelling, we would love to publish it. So send in your hot take. You can go to editor@bitcoinmagazine.com, and we would love to review it. Not everything that gets submitted gets published, but if it's quality, we would love to tell your story. The second way is to amplify your Bitcoin project. So as a media company, one of our roles is to tell the world about all the great projects that are happening, all the great companies, what's happening in the space, who's building what. We do this in a number of ways, through advertising, through sponsorships, through conferences like this, press releases and interviews and so on. So if that's you and that's compelling, I would love to talk to you and learn how we can share more of your story. And finally, finding ways to partner with Bitcoin Magazine. If you're here and you consider yourself a candidate for a strategic partnership, one of my goals for this conference in particular is to meet the leaders who are here at the companies who are interested in exploring deeper engagement with Bitcoin Magazine. A lot of people don't know this, but in addition to our flagship US brand, we also have partnerships in Ukraine, Switzerland, and recently just partnered with Metaplanet to launch Bitcoin Magazine in Japan. And I'm personally very motivated to find the right partner who can help bring Bitcoin Magazine to the MENA region and explore building relationships to continue that effort. So as I wrap up, I just want to say thank you again for being here. Thanks for listening to my talk. If you see me walking around, I'd love to meet you, so please feel free to stop me and say hello. But otherwise, enjoy the rest of the conference. Shukran.
Is your company ready for the next evolution in financial strategy? Bitcoin for Corporations is your partner in securing the future of your business. With exclusive membership benefits, our comprehensive masterclass, and a network of trusted service providers, we provide the insights and resources to help you incorporate Bitcoin into your financial strategy, ensuring stability and long-term value. Strengthen your business. Innovate with confidence. Bitcoin for Corporations, protecting your treasury and positioning you for the future.